Hello everyone, Shamlily Gray here from Goddess Creations, just at the eve of Halloween of Samhain, just before that time of the year, that cross quarter in the year wheel, let's say the pagan year wheel, that cross quarter, the most famous one, the one that actually makes people worry the most. Halloween, the time when people dress up and get into the energy of monsters and all sorts of ghoulish festivities where what you call it, how would you say it? It's like when suspicion reigns high. There it is, I found the word. Suspicion reigns high, you know, the black cat and the witch and all of that, all of those energies, all of that is put into the spotlights, and it may be honored or it may be ridiculed. Well, I would love to share with you about that, about the pagan version, where it actually comes from, the pagan version of Samhain. And Samhain is actually a time of the year, let's say after you've had the cross quarter where you the equinox of Mabon, where you are entering into the darker side of the year, where the nights are becoming longer than the light, where you are going darker and darker and deeper and deeper. This is also the third harvest. The first one was in August, the second was in September, half September, and we've now come to the third harvest. And this third harvest is the harvest of the cattle. This is the one where it is important to decide, if you're going back in the time, let's say, that it's important to go as farmers, let's say, to find out which cattle is fit enough to survive the harsh winter. And that cattle would then be slaughtered, so that it would also be the foods that you have that aren't in a huge abundance in the winter can be saved for the cattle that will survive, so that you have the stronger that are being fed. And it is a sacrifice of the weaker cattle that will not survive the winter, let's say. But also that is the farm side of it. So that's where it is the third harvest of the year, where the first one was grain and the second one was of the fruits, and now we've come to the cattle, the meat. So that is that side of Samhain. This is also a time of going deep. Many associate it with time to where they say the veil between this world and the other world becomes thin. So this is a beautiful time for you to go in and meditate even more. Make connection with your divine, with your spirit. Take time. You may also want to focus on connection with your ancestors. And this is what also Samhain is about. A part of the ritual of Samhain is that you can, in honor of your ancestors, in honor of those who have been before, you can make an altar for them, really honor their energy. Be thankful for the wisdom that you got from your mother line or father line, whoever came before. You can go to a grave and maybe even tidy it up, honor, be thankful for what your ancestors have given you. You could meditate or go into divination, light a candle. As I said, create an altar with maybe a picture of them. Think about the family line. That is also honoring it. Another tradition that you can do around the ancestors' energy is also that you can, when you are at Halloween or Samhain Eve, Halloween is actually short for Hallows Eve, and I pray I will get to that in a moment. But you can set the table where you are sharing your food and the festivities, let's say, or the honoring of the dead, honoring of those who have passed. You can set the table for one seat extra with one plate of food extra. And at that moment, you can energetically share with each other memories of the past. And usually that will be in a loving energy. Or maybe if it's not as loving or painful, it might even be cleansing. Afterwards, when you have that plate as an offering, you can also take that plate outside and leave it at a crossroads or at a sacred space. Or maybe you have an altar outside and leave that plate to offer to the others, the spirits, the fae. Now this may sound very magical and maybe even a bit strange or woo-woo, but it is a beautiful way of honoring the life cycle, honoring the wheel of life. And this is that part of it. Now, on the other hand, we also have Halloween. It's on the same day, and it has become, you could say, Christianized, but that is the pattern of how it has happened in Christianity. They, in the past, wanted to suppress the pagan ways and put their sticker of Christianity on top. Well, they tried to do away with Halloween or Samhain by putting on a Christian label to it, but the normal people would not have it. They would not allow their Halloween to be taken away. So what happened is that they came as close to it as possible, and they created All Saints Day or All Souls Day, and that is the day after Halloween, on the 1st of November. So you have Halloween, which is actually short for Hallows Eve, which means the Eve means the day before something. So you have Hallows Eve is now, which is Halloween, is now a way of saying the day before the holy day of the All Saints Day, which is on the 1st of November. Smart. But it doesn't matter. What is important is that we can all, in our own way, celebrate and stand still with the energy of it. So where do the ghouls come in? Where do the monsters come in? Well, it is also said, or known, or passed down, that, as I said, the veil between the worlds is thin. As I said, you can communicate with your ancestors, communicate with others at this moment in time. When you can do it with meditation, you can do it with divining. Your dreams may even give you more clarity on certain matters. Write them down. They may be messages. There may be something in there for you. And so Halloween is therefore the eve, the moment before, let's say, All Saints Day, but also that, as I said, that veil that is thin, a way to speak to the others, connect with the others. What is also said is that, and you may know this from films or whatever, is that there is, if you believe in hell and heaven, let's put it as black and white and as Christian as that, what the church would then say is that if you haven't been baptized or sanctified the right way, you cannot enter into heaven, and so your spirit is lost in that in-between, in that space between death and heaven. And it is said that the spirits then at Halloween all come up and want to have solace, wants to find their way home. Now, there is a duality in this, and I'm not sticking to the Christian side of it, but you can guide spirits to where they want or need to be, if that is what you are believing, or you can just enjoy it as lovely candles. But what I could say is light candles, maybe a pathway towards your driveway or in your windowsill. It is a way of, on the one hand, guiding spirits to where they need to be, letting them know that they are safe so that they don't feel lost. Or you can say, if you believe it on the other side, that it is that there may be evil spirits or less serving spirits, it is a way to ward those off too. If they are evil, they can't handle the light, can't they? So the light and the candles is a very important thing around Samhain. Also, it being another one of the fire rituals of the Wheel of the Year. Well, that was a lot of technicality. The lovely colors of Samhain, that if you want to enter the energy, be it in the festive and making yourself ghoulish with masks and trick-or-treat and going around scaring people or getting sweeties, it's totally up to you. Or you can take the solemn way of making it an altar and honoring those who have been before. It is up to you. The colors that you can embrace yourself with could be black, brown, orange, silver, whatever that feels right, grey, whatever may feel right in that energy of Samhain. And then you have the oils or the herbs that can serve you: rosemary, mugwort, myrrh, and there are various, cinnamon, cedarwood. These are grounding and yet also illuminating energies and oils that you can use. What can you do for fun? Well, we all know about the pumpkin, and yes, the pumpkin and nuts and apples are absolutely the fruits of this season, as well as, of course, the honored meats that you have offered at as I said in the beginning. And the pumpkin, you can, and you may not know this, or maybe you do, you can carve it open and hollow it out and make a sort of jack-o'-lantern. Now, I'm not going to tell you the story of jack-o'-lantern because it is a bit of a dire story, but it is also a fun way of communicating with your family, having fun, honoring the time of this year. So you hollow out the pumpkin and you make a face in the outer shell of the pumpkin and you light a candle in there, and that is a fun way of connecting with the energy of Samhain or Halloween. You can make baked apples with lovely cinnamon from in the oven. Lovely treat for the family. I know I'm going to be making pumpkin soup, which is one of my favorite recipes in this time of year. So there are many things that you can do, and there are many ways that you can do it, and you can do it alone and you can do it with others. I just wanted to share with you the joys and the beauty and the many layers of Samhain and how you can enjoy it for yourself. If you have anything to say, I would love to know what you think and what you do with regards to Halloween/Samhain. And I will see you at the next spoke. Bye. Jamlily Grey, Goddess Creations.